Third of students of color express an interest in STEM. Most black women think that STEM is too challenging. We are sisters in STEM, and we are encouraging young black teens to join STEM.
If you're interested in more information, please contact Ina Montgomery at 816-866-6340.
Tycon Company, LLC, specializes in a wide range of construction services, which includes the removal and replacement of concrete curbs, sidewalk, driveway, and paving. They pride themselves in the quality of their service, but more importantly, with the quickness in which they provide those services. Their primary goal and objective is to achieve 100% customer satisfaction, and they won't settle for anything less. Their crews travel within a 100-mile radius of the Kansas City, Missouri metropolitan area, which includes cities on both sides of the Kansas and Missouri state line. Tycon Company, LLC, 4435 Prospect Avenue, Kansas City, Missouri, 64130, 816-921-0473. Tycon Company, LLC, quality with quickness. Proud sponsor of Wake Up KC.
This is Quentin Lucas, speaking on behalf of KUAW, Knowledge, Understanding, and Wisdom. Make sure that you gain that knowledge listening to this station and following us on Facebook Live. KUAW, making sure our community has a voice.
You are listening to The Lene Gray Show on KUAW, Knowledge, Understanding, and Wisdom.
This is your host, Kay Brooklyn, and our wonderful co-host, Dre B. This is the Love Project Radio Show, where it's all love all the time.
We definitely want you to tune in to the Love Project Radio Show every first and third Sunday of the month. And also the show starts at 4 p.m. So please tune in. We discuss different topics from relationships to things that are going on in the world. Again, the Love Project Radio Show at 4 p.m. on every first and third Sunday.
We'll make you laugh, we'll make you cry, and most importantly, we'll make you love.
What's happening, everybody? Jazz trumpeter Tom Jamaica Funk Brown wishing all of my KUAW fans season's greetings and the warmest Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
That's right, KUAW 98.5. You're listening to Shifting Paradigms. I'm your host, B. Michael. We're here at 4510 East Linwood Boulevard at the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center. And we about to go in with my two brothers here. We got Sharon Thompson to my left. We got Daniel Smith to my right. They compose the Porterhouse, Kansas City. We definitely going to dive in with them. But Shifting Paradigms, we're all about stimulating critical thought in order to realistically redefine our narrative and positively reshape our reality through dialogue with self-determination. And so this show here is dedicated to entrepreneurial paradigmatics. We're going to dive in. So I'm going to let my brothers introduce themselves. So whoever would like to dive in first, please do.
Hey, how's everybody doing? My name is Sharon Thompson, the other co-founder of the Porterhouse KC.
What up? Dan Schmidt, Porterhouse KC, represent.
Hey. No doubt, no doubt. So I always like to, present a dedication. And if you all want to have, a moment to dedicate this show to somebody and then something they may have said that has inspired you in your course and your journey, please feel free to share.
So with me, I like to dedicate, I guess I always dedicate it to the Lord above. And Derek Thomas, have done a lot for me when I was growing up. As far as Third and Long Foundation, I was part of that program. So I like to say I like to dedicate it to Derek Thomas.
No doubt, no doubt.
Yeah.
Rest in power.
Dope. I guess. Oh, so it's on me now.
It's on you now. It's on you now. Yeah.
So I lost my grandfather back in July, and I got so much from him, and so I just want to dedicate focus and everything that we're doing from my end to him and the family and the grind. And the people in the community, man.
True.
That we serve, for sure.
Yeah, because we definitely doing something together, collaborating, and everything. It's going down in Kansas City. So
no doubt. And I always got to recognize the Black Family Technology Awareness Association and Baba G here on the soundboard, always holding it down and keeping it up, doing this thing on that board. So big up to Baba G and staff. But yeah, so we want to definitely just dive into entrepreneurialism and just give a little background of how you all, have trekked through your professional career to get to entrepreneurialism. Because I want to first and foremost commend both of you all for really, the work that you've done. And I know there's so much more to do. We talk about it, D. So, but you all have definitely left some imprints in the community, and it's just commendable. But I know the work is not done. But let's talk about the trek that you all have taken to get to this particular point.
All right, so it started. We started our first business called Smith Thompson Maintenance when we was about in our 20s or so, maybe 19 or so. But we started that business, and we couldn't find the resources as far as business was back then. So it was naturally, we had to do it on our own. I was going in my mom's cabinets trying to get cleaning products for Smith Thompson Maintenance business. So we try to make our connects, networking and all that. We couldn't find it, So we figured it out. We had a couple of other businesses, and then Dan was like, "Hey, let's try this these events where entrepreneurs can talk about their business and present, like we can have attorneys talk about law as far as your business, how to get your LLC, accounting, how to do your finances with your business." Just everything involved with business. So from there on, 4 years ago, we went to that. So, but Dan and I, we knew each other from back when we was in high school, from YMCA days.
Okay.
And I shout out to Myron Fry. He was one of our mentors back then. A lot of young men's mentors from YMCA off Prospect.
Yeah, man. We just to kind of piggyback on what Sharon was saying. Like we recognized that there was some deficiencies, right? There was there's a lot of lacks, right? A lot of barriers to kind of overcome. And like Sharon said, we're serial entrepreneurs, and we've learned a lot in our past, right? In our past experiences, and we felt like we've amassed a decent network of people that could help bridge the gaps that we're trying to bridge, right? And try to eliminate as many barriers as possible. And so that's kind of why we jumped into it, man. And we push community. I grew up right down the street. We were just talking about that. This is actually the elementary school that I went to. You know what I mean? K through 5. Spanish Magnet Elementary School, right? And should speak a lot better Spanish and more, but muy poquito español. But this is the elementary school. This is my community, man. It's where I come from. So we want to just try to do as much as we can to help as best as possible, man. And that's why we talk partnership, man. We got so many partnerships and partners, and
that's crucial.
So many things that we're doing together in the community,
right?
That and no foreseen thoughts or of stopping, right? Or we just trying to push. Trying to push as best as possible.
No doubt. So like with your professional careers prior to getting into the porterhouse and then getting into the 9 to 5, how much of those experiences lent towards, you all pursuing entrepreneurialism, and what was the point that you realized, like, look, even getting into the maintenance position, like, we need to do our own thing? Like, what was some of the things that you learned from the professional the 9 to 5, rigmarole to get to the point where it's like we need to just do for self. Like, what was some of the things that you all learned, but what was also some of the things like we just gotta just break free from that?
Sometimes some people, and a lot of people can relate to this, and sometimes you're just not a good employee.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Sometimes you could do your job well and you kind of go through the processes and everything else, but not only are you not a good employee, you just don't do well with things that just don't make sense to you. You know what I'm saying? And so if things don't make sense to you and you kind of challenge everything that you come up against, in different spaces, you start to recognize that, mutually, this is not for us. You know what I'm saying? Mutually, don't fit. And I get it. It's understandable, but but you learn a lot though. You still learn a lot, right? You learn processes, and you learn how important processes are. You learn how important connectivity is, and you learn how important leadership play in both a leader's wheelhouse and also from the subordinates wheelhouse. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you learn from that being employed and all that good stuff as well. So I mean, you got gems everywhere, but some people do well in those environments. Some people don't. You know what I mean?
Like Dan said, leadership. Leadership was is actually one of my main focuses on. Because I feel that all of us are leaders in some way. So we gotta lead people, to do right, to actually do their business. So when it comes to for me working in the 9 to 5, I had to be a leader instead of you might have a boss or whatnot, but you want to be a leader too and direct the path of your employees or your customers or whoever.
Hands down.
So
hands down. That's thick, man. So entrepreneurship, like, how would you define that? What is entrepreneurship? He got the literal definition on his shirt.
It's right there on my shirt.
So on the shirt it says taking on greater than normal financial risk.
My mind.
Which is huge, right? But I do we like to break down the stereotypes, right, of entrepreneurship. Right?
Generational wealth.
That's definitely something that's a part of it for sure. But that there's these myths, right? You got a lot of people you got a lot of folks in our community that are entrepreneurs, that are definitely taking on greater financial risks than normal. But a lot of folks are still working in their 9 to 5s. That doesn't negate the fact that they're entrepreneurs. You know what I mean? It just means that they're doing double duty, right? And they're not able to fully 100% connect and work on their business and in their business as they want to, right?
That's deep.
But that's a part of what we try to do with our whole situation. We are demystifying what entrepreneurship really is, right? And traditionalists will look at some entrepreneurs that come in, suit and tie and whatever that looks like, and then some would see this polo with khakis on, these guys that work in tech and all this other stuff, and it doesn't necessarily mean that like you see us hoodies,
right,
t-shirts,
it's not the norm.
Beards and
bald head, and you know what I'm saying,
dread, locked
in, you know what I'm saying,
Rasta man.
Like at the end of the day, we this is not, we demystifying it, right? That's we want everybody, we want people to rock with us, man. We don't want you to feel like you got to put on, because you don't have to put on in entrepreneurship. You just got to be willing to work, right? Just willing to put in the work, and that's what we're about.
Yeah.
We try to lead by example. You know what I'm saying?
That's crucial.
So,
Dan said it very well. Yeah,
that's what's real. So you hear the term, hustle. You gotta hustle. You gotta grind. Is that something you all find that is required? And I've heard this one too. Align. Find your purpose and work that. But is there a balance that you all found that is required to hustle, to grind, but also to align with purpose? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What do you all see with that particular paradigm?
As far as hustling and grinding, that's everyday life, for us. For us, we hustle, grind every day. So as far as being in line, it was our purpose, I feel like it's destined that Dan and I had started this, and it just aligned everything just came in line with, you know, the way we rock. So
Right.
yeah, as far as hustle, grind, you know, we gonna grind. That's part of, to me, it's part of being an entrepreneur, because it's blood, sweat, tears.
Yeah.
And it's like you said, it's about alignment, too. You know, but I've had these conversations, and I'm not I'm gonna continue to have these conversations, right? I like to share. I share a lot. Sometimes I share too much, but it's okay. Like at the end of the day, you know, we all grow from it. But you know, when you talk alignment, you know, we got a lot of folks that really don't know how to. They want to start a business. They don't know what business to start, right? We got a lot of folks that. We have some folks that are really good at a trade, at a particular thing,
right? But
they don't know how to necessarily turn that into
a business,
right? So these elements, these different pieces of that, there should be more focus on not. And I say trade, and I say a trade loosely, because when you think of trade, you think plumbers and carpentry and things like that.
Right.
But when I mean trade, I'm talking any industry, anything that you can get into that you can actually start your own business with. Making T-shirts.
Have a product,
something, a product of some sort, right? You might not be passionate about T-shirts, right? You might not be passionate about the thing that you put on your T-shirt, but you could be passionate about growth,
right?
And trying to create economic stability and viability,
right,
for you and your family and your community. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And using that as your passion, you learn the trade, whatever these trades are. You know what I'm saying? So there should be more focus on teaching folks how to do these different things,
right,
that can spur creativity and spur the interest in these different areas and things like that. Because then you have these folks that don't come to these sessions and they like, nah, because I'm not an entrepreneur. I always wanted to I wanted to learn how to start a business, but I just don't know what to do. That's why we need to have spaces for that too. Spaces for creativity, to learn how to do some of these things.
Man, that's lot.
That's what we're interested in rocking in too. So,
and I'm I want to go to a little tangent, but come back to dealing with products and services as entrepreneurships, but overcoming fear, or having those limitations, not having access to resources. Like, I'm sure you all have encountered that, you know, even in your most current, you know, vein that you're tapped right now. But how have you all found successful ways of navigating through those particular restrictions and limitations? Fear, you know, lack of resources, and maybe even just, you know, is this what we really want to do?
Yeah.
So as far as no fear, I mean, you just have to do it. I mean, failure is going to always be there, you know. I mean, if you fail, you fail.
Right.
Get up and try it again, or change something in what you do and go for it. So as far as fear,
that's deep.
You got to have no fear in order to just do it. You got to have that courage, motivation, inspiration, all of it, all above.
Yeah.
And your mind got to be open to just doing it.
To go.
Yeah. And that's why we're creating spaces that we're creating too. We are creating spaces to be okay to fail in, right? Because what we recognize is that failure is where the success is going to lie. Right. The success doesn't lie in minimizing your failure, right? Success lies in doing these things a lot, right? And failing a lot to get to the point where you want to get to, where you need to be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we have to be able to put situations in place where folks are okay to fail and feel okay going up to that chalkboard. And I always use this as an example because I sucked at math, right? And so getting up and getting in front of your peers and you going up to the chalkboard and knowing that you have no idea what this problem is or how to even work through this problem, but you're so debilitated by this fear, you can't even get outside of yourself to think through the things that you've learned in this math class, right? And so we gotta create spaces where folks feel comfortable failing. And that's, I think, what we're trying to create is an open opportunity for folks to talk through failure, live in failure, live through it. Don't let it debilitate you, because the more you do it, the more you get through it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The less that it happens,
Right.
the more that you're gonna fear it, and the less you're gonna be willing to walk forward into it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Exactly.
I would just add to that, changing the perspective of failure into a lesson. You know what I'm saying? This didn't work. So now we just retool, the process to find a more viable formula, a more, effective formula that will allow for, this to definitely take off. So yeah, that's
Right.
what's real. But you are listening to KUAW here, Shifting Paradigms. I'm your host, B. Michael. We got the Porterhouse KC in the house, my man Sharon Thompson, Daniel Smith. We're just talking about entrepreneurial paradigmatics. And as relates to entrepreneurialism, you got either products, and this is just business, period, products or services, right? What led you all to understand what particular service you want to deliver, or what product that you all want to deliver? Like, how did you narrow down that this is what we need based on, I know your experiences, you talk about lack of resources, but like highlight that for us, because I think people like to see processes. I know for me, if I see someone's process and how they went about going to accomplish what they accomplished and some of the steps that they taken, it makes it realistic for me. You know what I'm saying? So talk about your process, how you arrived at a place where, we want to deliver this service and have these products.
That's a good one. So, we actually, we observe a lot, So we have to observe people's failures and what they're succeeding in. So what we saw with success or whatever, we saw it was a need for collaboration. So as far as collaboration, you needed to collab and find resources to get that. So what we do is we have like a kind of like a tree, like a network, where this person can help another person out. So that's how we saw our services as far as helping people, as far as finding the resources. Now we also went up to Mortar, which is in Cincinnati, and we saw these brothers, they were doing their thing. So they was like, hey, we can go off this curriculum, which is a working curriculum, and they are actually doing very well. So we saw them and we talked to them, and they was like, yeah, we can, work our curriculum with y'all. And they helped us, work, and we're putting our curriculum with theirs here in Kansas City. So it's actually doing very well. We went through our first cohort, and we have people with services, we have people with products, and it's doing very well.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
I said a lot in that.
No, so it's funny. It's funny how this thing comes about. These things come about, right? But the more you work in purpose, the more things just kind of
unfold.
They put themselves in the place for you, right? And it's not a lot of thinking involved, right? You just have to carry out the plan. You know what I'm saying? You just got to make sure that you're putting that work in, that grind, right? We developed a relationship with the guys at Chess Inc., representing these guys.
Yeah.
We came to them with our idea, right? We
about Chess Inc. Who's Chess Inc.? Like, what do they do?
Chess Inc. is a home ownership, credit restoration, HUD approved home ownership and credit restoration organization led by Coley Williams and Ron Farmer.
Yeah.
Hey, they're phenomenal guys, man, and they're doing a lot in the community. They're working hard to keep folks in their homes, to get people in some homes. So they're doing some really great stuff. But we came to them with an idea, and we always talk about cost, right? A space, right? And they have a space, and Ron and Coley both were just like, yeah, man, you guys can use this space.
Yeah.
So we started with these speaker series events, right? And you've done some of those events for us.
Right.
And we from there we grew beyond the speaker series events, right? We said, all right, we got, all these folks are coming, we're tapping into people. We had a lot of folks that were interested in they had small products and things like that. So retail based businesses, small
vending vendors.
Yeah, like vendors and things like that. And so we start asking questions like, so if you had a storefront, what would you do with it? Or how do you know your product is sustainable? I mean, how do you know, or do you know if your product is something that could be sustainable and you can grow it into be a self-sustaining business, right? And trying to, and so a lot of folks, I don't know, because, we're doing vendor fairs, and not a lot of e-commerce going on and stuff like that. And so we decided that's when we went a little deeper, right? And that's when Sharon talked about we got blessed with the opportunity to go up to Cincinnati. First, we met the guys, and the connection and learning, like meeting them was like, you know, we talked for like 20 minutes, like not long at all. And I was like, we got to go up to Cincinnati. Yeah, we got to see what you guys are doing, right? 2 weekends later, guess where we were? Cincinnati. Yeah, and meeting these guys. But it's through Erin Jenkins, man. Yeah. She's phenomenal. She introduced us to him. Erin Jenkins, and so we came back, and it was just like the vision was clearer, right? Not crystal clear, but clearer.
Right.
We knew we wanted a space where we can have people, like we was talking about earlier, a space where people can fail in. And be okay failing and testing and figuring it out, right? And then we wanted a co-working area space, not like a traditional co-working space, but a space that folks with similar cultures and similar backgrounds can build their fortitude, for the lack of a better word, fortitude to be able to go out beyond. And you know, I got this support Black colleges, right? And that's kind of similar to the HBCU format. Come to the HBCU, build your acumen, your IQ, and all that good
Sanders
stuff.
now,
you know what I'm saying? and grow it. My wife, alumni, Bethune-Cookman. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what we're looking at. And then just like I said, man, just things just grow and it just grow and it just grow and manifest it and stuff like that. So if you follow our path, it's more of a path of purpose than it is a strategic line. Right. So we could talk, you know, the path to our purpose 100%. Yeah. But when we talk, if you want to lay down some X's and O's on that pathway, I'm gonna say, hey, it's gonna be a lot of zigzags. right. A lot of zigzags. But
we was there. We was over there.
A lot of the late nights.
Right.
And that's what's so deep is that, you know, that grind to put in the work to make your vision come to pass. You know, that's where the real grind is, because it's like you work hard for somebody 9 to 5, and you know your chips is only gonna stay there. But if you do it for yourself, you know, it becomes almost unlimited. But you still have to work to create that.
Exactly.
And that's what I've saw with you all, and what I've noticed most about you all, and I commend you all for, is your consistency. You know, that's everything. And that's what the people see, that's what the people need, and they're like, you all are like for real.
Hey man, you know that because we've had these conversations, right? like consistency is everything. Like it's everything. Yeah. You know, we have this term that we use a lot, wolf tickets, right? Selling wolf tickets, right? We were sold a lot of wolf tickets, not necessarily in what we're doing now, because we're beyond those wolf ticket days. But when we were younger, man, really trying to grow and build, man, we had a lot of people just throw out just random stuff and lies and things that maybe it wasn't necessarily a lie at the time. Maybe they thought, you know, this is something, but really throwing out stuff that just really didn't make sense. And we were wide open to it. You know, we thought that, you know, you said it, that means this is what it is, right?
That's it. Facts. No.
Right. Facts, right? But then you realize that there's a lot of wolf tickets that are being sold, man. And that's not the position that we want to be in, whether on purpose or not, right? Because there's a lot of people that fail our communities a lot. Right. Yeah. And intentional or not, there is a lot of failure that happens. But we want to try to be as consistent as possible to be able to continue on and what our purpose is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So Sharon, what you think? My bad.
Nah, you said everything. I mean, Dan always does this to me, you know. But no, it was. I do. It's intentional. That's how it is. No. Like you said, man, we working at we trying to start a lab, you know, process with entrepreneurs. So they're gonna, you know, be testing their products and services or whatnot. Yeah. That's what we're gonna try to do. Bring Kansas City.
Before we take a break, so in addition to consistency,
we got breaks.
I know we're gonna take a brief break. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna take a quick time out, little 30.
We heating up. Nah,
but aside from like consistency, what character traits or what principles do you find, or have you found to be necessary to get your vision up and off the ground? Aside from consistency, what would you say?
That's a good one. Purpose, I got a lot of them. I can go for a long
Run it.
time.
We got a few minutes.
We got no fear. We got you got to ask questions. You gotta not be afraid to ask questions. You gotta collab. You gotta talk. You gotta open up your mouth. You gotta be able to speak your mind. You gotta say what you actually feeling and just be open.
Yeah, be vulnerable. Absolutely. Vulnerability is a huge thing.
Wow.
It's a lot of trust in being vulnerable, right? But you also there's a fear of being too open, right? And being taken advantage of and things like that. But sometimes, man, when the purpose speaks louder than everything else in the room, you have to just open up. You have to be vulnerable. And I think that's something that we've rocked on, man. Living through fear, not in it. We've rocked in that. You know what I'm saying? Consistency. We try to rock in that as best as we can. Being humble. You have to be humble, right? Because none of this is given, right? And you just got to be willing to put in the work, right? You got to earn it. You got to go earn it. You can't ask, you know? You can ask a whole bunch of people. Hey, man, can you please do it? Can you please? Nah, man, you let's go ahead and see your work. And that's how we are, man. Like we work with folks and we say, hey, man, we want to see your drive. Now, I'm willing to work with you. We're willing to work with you, but we want to see your effort too. We want to see you put in some work. And I can give you an example. Duron Cooper, this weekend, Ultimate Game Night. I hit him up and I said, hey, man, we got this Truce to Palooza thing we're going to do, and we're hosting or whatever, and it'd be great for you to come down and help us out. He's like, man, no doubt. Not even a question. Not even like there was nothing. Right. And I was like, hold on, Coop. You said yes too quick. Like, you don't know the parameters around this thing, right?
Let us explain it.
Coop's ready to work. He's ready to work, man. He's putting in the work. But you see him on Ultimate Game. Like, you see him on his platform. He's putting in that work. And so, you know, you have others that are willing to do stuff for people that are obviously putting in that work.
Right.
And so whatever we could do to help him and push his platform and what he's doing. And the same with you, obviously. You putting in that work. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So just be, you know, seeing that stick-to-itiveness, and then the tenacity to rock, you know.
That's rich.
I think those are huge.
That's rich.
We got Alex and D commenting, and my wife is watching my live I got going on right now. So Alex says, all to be the student, let's go, and let go of the ego is another great tip.
Ooh, yeah,
man.
That's a good one.
All right, Alex.
That speaks to life, and that's what's so deep. This is so related to life. And we're going to take a real brief break. You're listening to Shifting Paradigms. We're here with the Porterhouse KC, Sharon Thompson, and Dan Smith here at the W.B. Du Bois Learning Center. But we're going to take a little quick station identification, and we'll return and then get more into the Porterhouse and what this is all about.
Awesome.
Hey everybody, this is Scatter. You might remember me from way back in the Zodiac days. Be sure and check us out. We're going to be here every day from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock. It's old school with Scatter. Scatter's back. Check me out on the internet, KUAW.org. For all you for sale Central Manulite people, want you to remember that in the 60s and the 70s, we had some good music. If you want to hear some of the Temptations, some of Smokey Robinson, some of the Tim Free, things that you don't get every day, DJ Scatter remembers he's going to have it for you.
Bank of Blue Valley is a proud sponsor of KUAW Radio. At Bank of Blue Valley, we believe that an understanding of financial values sets individuals up for a strong future. Whether you want to talk about checking and savings accounts, review lending alternatives, or discuss starting your own business, we have the right people to listen and advise. Visit us at bankbv.com to get started today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to 98.5. This is KUAW, Kansas City, Missouri. Glad you're listening. Keep tuning to the new voice in Kansas City.
Hi, my name is Felania Johnson, and I'm a freshman at Purcell Academy of Fine and Performing Arts.
My name is Mayan Charity, and I'm a 7th grader at Lincoln College Preparatory.
STEM is a program about science, technology, engineering, and math. More girls our age should get more involved in the program because there's a shortage of black girls in STEM.
African American women make up just 2% of engineers. Roughly 1/3 of students of color express an interest in STEM. Most black women think that STEM is too challenging. We are sisters in STEM, and we are encouraging young black teens to join STEM.
If you're interested in more information, please contact Ina Montgomery at 816-866-6340.
Tycon Company, LLC, specializes in a wide range of construction services, which includes the removal and replacement of concrete curbs, sidewalk, driveway, and paving. They pride themselves in the quality of their service, but more importantly, with the quickness in which they provide those services. Their primary goal and objective is to achieve 100% customer satisfaction, and they won't settle for anything less. Their crews travel within a 100-mile radius of the
Shifting
Kansas
Paradigms, your host B. Michael. We're here with the Porterhouse KC, Sharon Thompson, and Daniel Smith.
Hey.
So yeah, the Porterhouse KC.
I
What
have no idea what
is
this thing is right here.
The
I
Porterhouse
keep doing
KC.
that. Salute.
They used to do that in basketball.
Right,
Like,
knuckleheads. That's
yeah,
what that was.
yeah. But tell us about the Porterhouse KC. You know, what is it about? What's the name? How did you arrive at the name? You know, and then what's your mission and vision?
Dan?
When we go,
he always have this great story with the Porterhouse.
So the name, it's real simple, right? A porter is used to be someone that helped you get at a train station, help you get your luggage and stuff off of a train, or get it on the train, or in the hotel, you know, to take your bags up to your room. So it signifies helping get you where you are to where you're trying to be, where you want to be. And then house signifies family, right? And then KC represent KC.
That's it. Right.
Yeah,
So the Porterhouse KC.
Family. Yeah.
That's rich.
So
you got it down, huh?
Hey man, you know, that's
you got to have vision.
This is where it comes from, you know. But yeah, man, we had we just graduated a group of 12 in our first small business development program, which was exciting. Yeah. We actually had an in-person small social distance graduation. Yeah. That was fun. That was dope. Our entrepreneurs, dude, that was in that program. Man, I don't know how. I mean, we were just blessed with the folks that actually applied and went through the program, man, because
they were amazing.
We got folks that, you know, we got D'Angela with a pinch of cocoa. She's doing major things. She's doing deliveries every Saturday. Right. She's in the clothes.
Deanna Munoz.
We had Deanna Munoz, the Latino Arts Foundation. I mean, just phenomenal. She was on Netflix, the Queer Eye for the Straight Guy episode. She had an episode on there the same season
Kansas
as
City.
Wesley Hamilton.
Okay.
We had Alicia from Unleashed. She was actually just featured on Ellen last Monday.
I saw that snippet.
Dude, like what? Bliss Books and Wine. We had Lanisha and Lene of Bliss Books and Wine. They were featured in Oprah magazine as, you know, nationwide.
These are local
folks, all in our first cohort, man. Yeah. I mean, ridiculous, dude. Like everybody, Candace Middleton. I mean, we had Brandon. I mean,
Brandon Henderson.
We had. I mean, dude,
it was 12 heads.
12.
And we were stacked, dude. It was beautiful, man. We grew together, working together. So anyway, we graduated that 12. Phenomenal group. And now we actually are working, partnering with Community Capital Fund for the 614128. They had a grant that the health department provided.
That's right.
Yeah. So, and they actually are expanding. They have a new application out, and they are up to like 5 different zip codes.
Wow.
Right. But we have 14 in this group that we're in right now with the partnership with them, and that's only a 6 week. It's abbreviated, and then we're doing another 6 weeks, which is abbreviated too. But they're going to provide the opportunity to go forward into the 12-week if they, you know, if you so choose as an entrepreneur. But they all get $2,000 each.
Yeah,
$2,000 each. You have to go through our 6 weeks, and then you get your, you know, you get 1,000 during it, and then the breakdown in 2,000. All to work towards your business. Right. Who gives? Who's giving out $2,000 to either start or to help? You know,
your business.
Right.
Like with you, what you want to do, and it doesn't. There's no stipulations where you got to be working full time in your business already or anything like that. You can literally you can have a side hustle right now.
Right.
And you can see that information is on our Porterhouse KC page, and we'll reshare it out again, but with the new application, which is phenomenal. We're doing that. We have a mentoring program.
Mentees, yep. These individuals, they come together and they just give them information about their business. We come to it's basically like collaboration. So you talk about your business. We have breakout sessions where they do the resources, and they just give them so much information and drop so many gems that everybody just picking up on it. They like, man, I am learning so much about my business, and this is like every Monday.
Yeah, so we do that, and that's in partnership with the Mid-Continent Public Library and Forward Cities.
Yep.
So Gabe over at Forward Cities and Morgan with Mid-Continent Public Library. So that's exciting, man. I mean, and we're in week. I think we just completed week 3, and that's a 12-week mentorship program. Okay. Which you are involved with, obviously, and you got Alex as your mentor, and so we're really excited about that.
Vitality.
Yeah, she's dope. She's phenomenal. And D Moore is a mentor as well. Yeah.
So a great group of people, that you can learn information from. So yeah.
And it's just really to spur, because mentorship is a thing in our community that. Either we don't know a lot about, like, what does that mean? What is mentorship? What does that mean? Or, you can't find the right person to connect to, or how to connect to somebody. How can you go and find a mentor, right? Like, you just walk down the street and say, hey, I like what you do. Can you mentor me? Right. Like, that just doesn't happen, right?
Right.
So what we're trying to do is doing it in a curated fashion, right? We know some of the entrepreneurs that signed up. We know all of the mentors that signed up. And so our goal is just to curate an opportunity, right? And we're teaching networking. We're not really teaching, we're facilitating like conversations about like networking, like soft skill things, right? Conflict resolution, conflict management, things like that. And it just spurs additional conversation outside of the sessions, because mentors and mentees meet outside of just the Monday afternoon sessions. But we're just keeping busy.
That's beautiful, man.
Keeping busy.
And we just did a Trucepalooza on Saturday.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, which was amazing. So we got to interview a couple people from Off of Truce that had their businesses going on. We was actually at Chris Good, Ruby Jeans. Shout out to Chris Good. Thank you.
Ruby Jeans. So y'all talk about partnerships a lot. How has that propelled you all in the direction that you're going? Like, how important is that to have a partnership, and like what has that done for you? I'm just gonna leave that to you all.
It's very important, like we have a partnership with Plex Pod, we got a partnership with Chess Inc., we got a partnership with Mid-Continent, Square One. I mean, just having people have your back and you having their back, and just go about what you're doing. So,
because it seems like in our community, a lot of times we think that we got to foot the whole bill ourselves.
Exactly.
That's a misconception that I think that we really got wrong. But it takes that humility and being able to open your mouth. But expound. I know you have some things to say.
No, I was just gonna say it's intentional.
Yeah,
it's intentional. There's value in connecting dots, right? Like, we know that we're not in all these other spaces, and we know that we don't have all of the answers to everything, but we know through partnerships we can get answers to a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? Right. And it's not saying that Porterhouse KC is the it, right? No, we're not the it. But in addition to the relationship with PlexPod, in addition to the relationship with the library and Mid-Continent, and with Chess, and with Forward Cities, and with CCF, and everybody else that we're working with and beyond, right? Because we're still we're ready for any we love partnerships. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But we just have to be intentional about this stuff. Like, we're not just trying to partner just to put our name on something, or for somebody else to put their name on ours. We actually want to work together.
And I think one thing that's very interesting in partnership is the issue of maintaining your specific identity as an organization.
Yeah.
How have you all gone about carving out your space in the midst of all the other partners and collaborations that you have?
We work different, man.
Yeah.
We grind different,
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
That's a good one. God,
like
man,
everybody's in,
it.
because everybody's in their lane. Like we don't, like the library doesn't do it. And we've had these conversations, right? Because like we're open, man. Like you come to our sessions, and I'm gonna just be open here. Like we play music. Like we're not. You come to our entrepreneur sessions, or you're a part of. We play hip hop.
Yeah.
You come to our set, like you open up that Zoom because we're digital right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's hip hop playing.
Yeah.
What did we have on last week? What was the song? The hip hop song? We had some old school.
We had Lauryn Hill. Didn't we have Lauryn
Yeah,
Hill?
we had Lauren, but we had somebody
Fugees,
else.
But we try to make it fun and
I think
interesting.
it was.
You know?
I think it was Wu-Tang or something like that. But
we make it not a classroom experience. We don't want the classroom. You know,
the typical standard traditional stuff.
Yeah, it's because we know that the classroom hasn't necessarily been always the greatest thing for a lot of folks, right? You know what I'm saying? And we understand that. And there's a lot of entrepreneurs that, you know, can relate to that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And so we don't want anybody, we don't want a stuffy situation. We want you to come and be comfortable, and we want to break down our goal is to break down those barriers.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. Like as many barriers as possible. You come into a class and you hear hip hop music, you're like, what is this?
Right.
What have I joined?
Like,
what am I into?
I'm about to
these guys.
And then we become a sounding board. We
Right.
go off of gratitudes and challenges because we know that a lot of our entrepreneurs think different than the people that they're around, right? Sometimes their peers don't think like them. Mm-hmm. So when you want to go and you want to talk about entrepreneurial type stuff, business ownership and stuff, who do you go talk to?
Right. Right.
But now we're opening up opportunity for those folks that are in our sessions.
Right.
You got gratitudes and challenges. What did you have? What was going on this past week?
Mm-hmm.
What were some of your challenges?
Right.
What was your issues? What are some things that you're grateful for? A lot of folks that come from our community, and we ain't used to giving things that we're grateful about.
Right.
We're used to struggles easy.
The struggles real.
Right? Like I could tell you 20, 30, I got problems, right?
Right.
But when it comes to actually talking about some positive things, it's kind of hard because of two reasons. One is because you don't want to come off like you're better than this person. Right?
Right.
Right? It's that self-conscious thing. Like you know, if I say this, then they're gonna think I'm trying to be all that. Right. But that's not the case. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? We want you to come in and be grateful for the things that have happened to you, right? Let's share those things. So, you know, it's a lot, man. It's a lot of breakdown. We do a lot of different things differently that folks ain't really used to doing. And so I say that to say, like, when you said, what, you know, how do you keep your identity? It's not hard.
No.
It's not hard for us.
We just stay true to ourselves. So, you know, that's the only way we can do it.
Yeah.
You know?
So who is Porterhouse's, KC's target audience? Who do you all target? Or do you have one? Or is it just like, come on?
Nah, I mean, we work with primarily minority-owned business owners from the urban core. I mean, that's our primary focus. Now, we do have some folks that don't necessarily live or operate in those areas now. We have a few folks, but our primary target is folks that live in the urban core, come from the areas that we come from.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And what have you found as far as like having that niche? You've had a good draw of individuals who are, you know, in need of your services.
Oh yeah, it's
beautiful. Man.
There's so many people that want to do stuff, you know, with the with whatever hustle they have. If they vending or if they just selling stuff on the side, we can help you out. Give you the resources you need.
Right. So looking at, and you brought this up earlier, you know, and I think it's a huge issue with our community, and this is generational wealth, the wealth gap itself, right?
Right.
How do you find the Porterhouse going about, you know, seeking to reconcile that some and to close that gap? Are there things that you all are intentionally doing to address that particular void in our community or to help close that gap within our community?
So within our sessions, we have it's more of a family thing, and like, you know,
he's bringing out the document, son. Like, I'm about to
I just got this today. This is hot off the press. So I'm glad you asked that question. So I'm gonna let Sharon go.
That's funny.
I'm glad you asked that
question.
So
it's more of a family. You have to have your family involved in your business. You got to talk to your partner, your significant other about your business. So you want to eventually get to a point where the business is laying down to your kid or your children, or if they don't want to take on that, business, they can sell it for themselves and make the money or whatever. So you wanna get that trend or that be able to franchise your business up to that point. So that's the whole goal, is to get your business out there, you know, to get that wealth for your children.
That's what's up.
So the Kansas City Business Journal put this out. Was it yesterday or today? Might have been today. What's today? Today's 19th? Yep, 19. Today. So the title is Small Business, Big Mission, Dollar Dislocation by Neighborhood, right? And so the Business Journal analyzed small business loan data submitted by banks, approximately 73,000 designated, neighborhoods defined by the U.S. Census Bureau, yada, 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 yada. And so nationally, numbers favor white tracts roughly a 2-to-1 ratio, with twice as many loans originated per capita and double dollars deployed per capita. That disconnect grew more extreme as the demographic makeup of each census tract grew more concentrated. For instance, loan recipients within 90% white tracts received $2.46 in business loans of less than $100,000 more per resident for every $1 loan per resident in 90% of the black tract. So, it doesn't really, reading that doesn't really define it. But when I look in here and it says, and this is just Kansas City, this is just Jackson County, right? They surveyed the county's 10 largest tracts for majority black, and the same thing for majority white, right? Total loans in these 10 different tracts, and these are the largest tracts, 288 total loans in the black community, right? Versus 1,037 loans in the largest 10 tracts of the white community. Loan amounts.
This is like staggering.
Yeah. And I'm going to go in the thousands, but this is in hundreds of thousands, right? But I'm going to talk in thousands, right? $2,681 in the black community versus $14,331 in the white tracts in Jackson County
alone. This is just Jackson County,
right? So what is this telling us? In aggregate, it says it right here. Where is it at? $66.4 billion was originated in majority white census tracts in 2018, right? White.
This is national, or this is what?
This is national. Versus 3.6 billion.
African American.
66 billion versus 3.6 billion.
Wow.
And you look at you start looking at who's spending money though.
Right.
And it's us that's spending this money though. And we can't get sorry.
So how do you go about reversing that trend?
You don't
or impacting it. I won't say reversing, but impacting it. How do you go about impacting
you do it by what we're doing every day. What we're trying to figure out every day. And not just us. There's a lot of organizations out there that's trying to figure this thing out, right?
No doubt.
Sean, you about to say something?
No.
Oh. There's a lot of organizations trying to figure this out. And we're just a piece of the puzzle, right?
True. So what can the people do? What can we do as a people as
spend money in your community, man?
In your community.
Okay. Keep the dollar local as long as possible, right? Keep it in the community as long as you can. And how do we do that, right? You support. And sometimes it's getting uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's supporting folks that you don't traditionally support. Sometimes it's accepting, and I'm not going to say, so there's some things when you work with black-owned businesses versus other businesses that you support, and you give grace in other businesses sometimes, right? And we don't necessarily give the same grace in the black-owned for the black businesses, right?
Right.
Give that grace, man.
Yeah.
Give the grace. The grace, it'll come back to fold. Be okay with, and black businesses got to be okay with learning too. Yeah. It's a learning curve as well.
Provide the quality service too,
right?
Yeah.
Product.
It's like take your failures. If somebody wants to say something is wrong, accept that and then try to learn from that. Learn from your experience.
Yeah. That's rich. That's rich.
But yeah.
That's rich.
Yeah, man.
So future. What is in the future for the Porterhouse KC? What is on the horizon for you all?
Ooh, we got a lot on our hands. We got our next cohort. I'm gonna say it again. Registration is going to be November 5th
Mm-hmm.
of this year. That's right after the election. So we did that on purpose because we didn't want to be tied in with the election.
Cross wires.
Yeah,
with that.
yeah. It's going to be so much going on with that. So November 5th, registration for our next cohort. And man, we got some good people that was actually helping our cohorts. We had Joe Goldberg. We had Mallory with Broke Ass Girls Travel. She was in one of our sessions, and we got some secret people that's gonna be in our next session. So it's gonna be amazing.
I think we got a call.
No, we don't. We got a call.
We got a call.
Oh my gosh. We got a call.
We got a call.
That is awesome.
Caller, can you hear us? Caller? We can hear you very slightly right now. Can you get some volume on that, Baba G?
Is that better?
That's great.
Yep, we can hear you.
Go ahead, caller.
Hey guys, it's Alex McAnderson. How are you guys?
What's up, Alex?
Hey, Alex.
I was just calling to commend Sharon and Dan, and I think that, I mean, when you really talk about leaders in the Black community, like you guys are it, and not just with everything that you guys are doing, but just the way that you guys are. You know, B. Michael's very familiar. We've had these conversations about the divine masculine and feminine, but just like who you are as men, like understanding, and you touched on this a couple of times today, Dan, like being vulnerable and coming with like an open heart. Like I love that you and Sharon give your wives like shout outs every time that you guys are like that's, you know, amazing. Like, and that you are open to sharing like the failures and also like the growth, because I think for such a long time, like men especially feel like they have to be strong all the time. And so thank you for being such amazing leaders, and it's an honor to, you know, be in just to know you guys, and it's been great. I feel like Sharon and Dan are like the type of people, whenever they ask you to do something, you never say no, you always say yes, because they, you know that it's a part of something bigger, and that anything that they're touching really has this really beautiful ripple effect in the community. So I just commend you, men. Thank you.
No doubt.
Appreciate you, Alex. You're awesome. You're awesome.
Yeah, Alex is no doubt.
All right, y'all. Have a
She's
great
trying to
night.
make us
Bye.
tear up.
I know, right? I'm up here like, oh man.
Thanks, Alex. And we are nearing the end of our hour, so first I want to thank you all for being on the show and sharing what you've shared. It's been very insightful. But if someone is interested in getting in contact with the Porterhouse KC, how do they go about doing that?
Yeah, you can get in contact with us on all Facebook platforms. I mean, not Facebook platforms, but all media platforms at the PorterhouseKC, Porterhouse KC, or go to our website, theporterhousekc.com.
Any last thoughts, brothers? Any last thoughts?
Oh man, it's amazing. I mean,
appreciate you, man.
Like
Yeah.
I like that Alex brought up. You know, that men coming out their shell and starting their business, or you know, because I mean, I take pride in that, because it's hard, you know, to be a man and fail. You know, you don't want your kids to see you fail. You know, you only want to see your successes. So thank you, Alex, for that.
No doubt, no doubt.
Yeah, man. I just appreciate you, and I love your push, bro. And
Oh yeah, Mike.
I tell you that all the time. Like, man, we appreciate your push, man. Just continue to push and be open, man.
Oh yeah,
right. Love it.
You got plenty of people here in Kansas City that, you know, can come on this show and, you know, you can talk to us anytime, you know.
I appreciate that. No doubt, no doubt. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to Shifting Paradigms with B. Michael here. We had the Porterhouse KC. Next week we got the Smiths here, Stephanie and Rodney Smith. We're going to be talking about transformational paradigmatics. So tune in on that third Monday of that's the first Monday of November, ain't it? Huh? That's what's up. So yeah, B. Michael signing off. Peace and blessings.
That's gonna
Shalom,
be
shalom.
The day before.
Yeah.
Ooh, transformation.
We'll see. Ooh.
Peace.
Hey everybody, this is Scatter. You might remember me from way back in the Zodiac days. Be sure and check us out. We're going to